Good morning. Only a couple of weeks until the big day, so we've got 90 minutes of festive recipes, perfect for any Christmas table. This is Saturday Kitchen Live's Countdown to Christmas. Welcome to the show. Our chefs today have lined up the perfect main course and dessert combo for your Christmas dinner with a savoury touch from Rik Mayall and a sweetness from Ravni Gill. And our super sommelier, Ollie Smith, has winning wine pairings to match. Now, our special guest today is the comedy legend behind one of the greatest double acts of all time, alongside the sensational Rik Mayall. From sitcoms to soaps and dramas to docs, there's nothing he can't turn his hand to. Please welcome the multi-talented Ade Edmondson. Very good, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
All right. Good morning, Ade. How are you?
Of turning my hand to presenting a Saturday morning kitchen show.
He's got the job. You're in. What could go wrong there? Money for old rope. No, it's not. Listen, we'll talk. We'll talk about your brilliant new autobiography.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I enjoyed reading it. I know an awful lot more about you.
Do you?
Than I did before I started.
Do you know too much about me?
I don't say too much, but there's a whole side that I was not aware. So it's a great read.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know, you get kind of typecast, don't you? People think.
Yeah.
They look at me and they think of the young ones.
It's exactly.
Young ones took 14 weeks of my life.
Yeah.
Less than 0.5%. You know.
Yeah.
So it's the tip of an iceberg.
There's an awful lot more going on there. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Right. Let's see what's on the menu today. No
time.
I know. It's part of the show.
Chicken with stuff, with brioche and, you know, like truffle.
You did that so much better in rehearsal. It's delicious. Chicken and stuff. Thank you, Greg. Right, incoming. There you are. Dive straight into that.
There you go, that one's
Look
for you.
at that.
Come sit down.
It's like an alternative Christmas dinner, isn't it?
Yes.
Exactly that.
That
chicken is cooked beautifully, by the way. Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, this is so good. I just want to eat the whole pie.
Well, you crack it out.
I'm trying to eat it as fast as I can.
First.
I'm doing an apple tart with cream cheese pastry and rum and raisin.
OK, now carry on eating.
Thank you.
Don't forget, you can join in the conversation on social media. Right, time for some more perfectly seasoned when you cut into it.
Where's the salt go? I haven't seen you put the salt in.
The salt went in there, so it was made already. So there's flour, salt and water to bind. So it's all in the dough.
Pastry.
Right, in the pastry.
Okay. Yeah, so it subsumes into the celeriac. It's remarkable. Soft, seasoned, delicious.
Yeah.
Enter.
I mean, how good does that sound like? It's great
more than a hotel.
stay, you know?
And also, you got the James Blunt ski lift.
Yeah, so James Blunt has a
we learned
restaurant
last
there. Or used to have, it's called La Vache, and yeah, you have a name of a ski lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, just James
You've been
Blunt
up it?
ski lift. Yeah, of course I've been. Yeah. And chicken is cooked beautifully, by the way. Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Matt, thanks a glass.
Thank you very much. I like this one.
Yes, the Rhone Valley offers amazing value. Only 6% of the Rhone Valley is white wines, therefore you're getting something quite exclusive. And you can get to the top producers, like the Perrin family, who make Chateau Beaucastel, which costs hundreds of pounds. You can find this as a white wine from the same winemakers, leading organic producer, and it's 12 quid in Sainsbury's.
Very nice.
For a treat, bag this.
I absolutely love that. How is the food?
It's absolutely delicious. There's no reason I couldn't do this with my turkey.
No, you could.
Good idea.
Turkey.
It's a very nice stuff.
Yeah.
It's
lovely stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of light.
It is.
Yes.
Light, but very savoury and tasty.
Yes. It is.
Rav, anything to add?
Exactly his
I think it's one of the best chickens I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah.
It's phenomenal.
I'm not asking for a comment. I wasn't
Sorry,
looking
this
for
is
drama.
so good. I just want to eat the whole pie.
Well, you crack it
I'm trying to eat it as fast as I can.
First.
I'm doing an apple tart with cream cheese pastry and rum and raisin.
OK, now carry on eating.
Thank you.
Don't forget, you can join in the conversation on... Are you singing the theme tune?
Certainly am.
That's very good of you. Thank you, Rik. Thank you, Matthew.
Tradition
Look
in my
forward
household.
to seeing you both later in Padstow.
Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
Crack on. Right, we saw goose there. I'm a big fan of goose. You could do this with leftover goose. You can do it with leftover duck. I'm using duck confit here because that is pretty easily available. You can get it in most supermarkets now. So it comes...
A lot of us feel like something, you know, that we're not the people that you see on Instagram, you know, or on, you know, people have kind of fantasy lives of being brilliant.
Oh, well, I think a lot of people, when they read the book, will be very surprised.
But most of us are kind of, you know, struggling.
Yeah.
You know,
well, and you're very open.
I think it's the way the world is.
Well, absolutely, and a lot of people will be able to relate to that. I mean, sorry, you've got a copy of the book.
Yeah, I have, very handy as well. The word Berserker lends itself so brilliantly to the world's best hat.
Yes.
And therefore a brilliant book cover.
Yeah.
And you went on in search of your sort of Viking heritage as well.
I went to school in East Yorkshire, which was, we studied the Vikings for A-level, and I just wanted to be... My name's Edmondson. It sounds like a Scandinavian name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I sort of built this identity for myself as a Viking, and everyone sort of bought into it. Well, they could not buy into it. People would say, "Where are you from?" I say, "Well, originally from Norway." And eventually my wife took me to Norway. My birthday's in January, and she took me to my homeland.
To see your people.
See my people. And my birthday's in January. It's not a good time to go to Norway because it's covered in snow and you can't see anything. So we went to Tromsø and we couldn't see the Northern Lights because it was just snowing. You looked up and you got snow in your eyes. We went to Bergen, so just look at the busy fish market, but it was iced over and there was nothing happening there. We got a train over to Oslo, which goes over a kind of big range of mountains. And at the top of the range, there was a blizzard, a horizontal blizzard, and the snow impacted on the window and we couldn't see out. And we started laughing. And the bloke opposite, the Norwegian, said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "Well, because we come on holiday by mistake." And he said, "Why have you come to Norway this time?" I said, "Because I'm Norwegian, I think." And he said, "Why? What's your name?" I said, "Edmondson." He said, "No! You're not Norwegian, you're Danish." Which is great. I thought, that's great, I'll have that.
So did you go there?
No, well, I have been, yes, I have. I have been to my proper home. No, I then sent off my DNA to one of those places where you can send it.
Yeah.
And it came back and it was so disappointing. I'm sort of, resolutely almost 100% British. There's a tiny 10% of Scandinavian in me. Yeah.
I love the... you're going through it. I mean, a lot of your humour has always been quite slapstick, hasn't it? I mean, you love Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
And when we think back at, at Bottom and your other bits and pieces, it's all slapstick. And there's a fantastic bit...
Well, it's all violent.
It is violent, correct.
I mean, it's about violence.
It's a lot of
I find violence very funny. When I was at school, I got hit an awful lot. It was the late 60s, early 70s, and they had sticks and other things, and they used to hit you with legally. And
I know.
so there were two ways to respond to it. One was to kind of blub and cry, and say, "Oh, poor me, I'm being hit. I must be better." And the other way was just to laugh at them.
Which made it worse.
Laugh at the people. And it made them powerless. So that kind of slapstick violence is a way of me getting back at the people that used to make me bend over and hit my bottom with a stick.
And brutally. I mean, yes, you go well into that. There's a great picture of you and...
I wrote 2 chapters on corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And originally it was 12,000 words just on corporal punishment. And my editor said, I think it's a bit top-heavy. so I condensed it to about half.
We're just showing some lovely pictures of you and Rik doing some slapstick. But there's also a remarkable chapter heading here, which sort of speaks for itself, actually, which is very, very short indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the young ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Hasn't enough been said or something?
Well, it's just, the whole chapter just says, I think enough's been said about this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke, because I then go on to do a proper chapter about it. Well, more than a chapter. But it's an extraordinary thing, the young ones, because it's this huge thing. I've come to terms with it, because it took so little of my life.
Yeah.
Bottom took 13 years, the young ones took 14 weeks. I've had longer dinners.
Now done.
I know how to do it properly.
14 weeks.
14 weeks.
OK, anything less?
I think we've had enough now.
Anything less, I want my money back.
Speaking of dinners, there's a lovely story in there where you went round to Mick Jagger's.
I did go round to Mick Jagger's
Mick and Cherry Hall. Would you tell us about that?
Oh, it was... Our kids went to the same school a long time ago, and it was at the time when Ab Fab was Jennifer's programme was in its pomp, and there were plans afoot to make an American version of it with American act. Completely pointless, because the British version was very popular in America anyway, so it never really materialised. But whilst it was being thought of, Jerry Hall buttonholed Jennifer at the school gate and said she expressed an interest in playing Patsy. And Jennifer was sort of non-committal, and Jerry invited us round to dinner to talk about it further. I've got awful accents. This is why I don't get any work in American shows.
I've got some great accents, and I'm not allowed to do them.
Oh, yeah.
I always get told off.
Yeah. Anyway, we ended up going round to their house, and I was so nervous about it because the first album I ever bought was Gimme Shelter, the Stones. You know, Mick was a huge part of my kind of rebellious childhood. And...
he put pathos to that, then.
Well, Jerry opened the door dressed as Patsy. She had the hairdo and she was dressed like her. She was basically auditioning. And we sort of went in and had a bit of small talk. And she said Mick was upstairs having his eyebrows dyed because he was about to go on tour. And so we kind of made rubbish small talk for a bit. Then we went downstairs. A maid called us into a kind of dingy... You think rock stars are going to live in fantastic places? A dingy little basement. And school dinner, basically. Bit of mush with another bit of mush.
Do hope they're not watching.
Well, I mean...
this is what it was.
This is what they served. And so we started eating this, and Mick joined us. Yeah. And he was very sulky. He's like a sort of sulky schoolboy. I quite like that about him. And it was obviously he didn't want to be there. Yeah. And... but he knew that Jerry wanted to talk to her. I think he thought Jennifer was a writer and that I was her manager.
You were the agent.
and he called me Andrew. And and Jerry said, no, his name is Adam.
You just go with it.
I'll just go with it. I can't be bothered to explain. And then, you know, Mick is Sir Mick Jagger. Yeah. So, you know, he knows a bit about dinner party etiquette. Yeah. And he noticed there was no wine on the table. And he said he didn't drink wine, but would we like a glass? And we're both quite keen on wine.
Right.
So we said yes, and Jerry looked very worried. And she left the room, and she came back about 5 minutes later with a bottle that was half full, with a little wrap of cling film around the top.
Nice.
And said, does wine, like, kind of go off?
Yeah.
And we said, you'd be proud of us, Ollie. We said, good wine can last for hundreds of years. Unfortunately, this wasn't good wine. We drank this cooking sherry. We drank a glass each of cooking sherry, and that was the sort of end of my complete hero worship. I mean, if you're going to be the king of rock and roll, there's got to be standards. Now, what do we got?
Will you tuck into those? It might be quite hot.
Shall I help? Shall I serve? Or am I tucking?
Well, up to you. You can eat them all. You can give them away.
I'm going to.
You're kind of wandering around quite a lot today. What will I be making for Ade at the end of the show? Will it be his food heaven, liver and mash? So to make this delicious onion gravy, it's my heaven as well. Up to you guys, though. Or his food hell, Thai green curry. Yeah. If so, I'm going to right now and have you say. They're right.
I think you should have a smaller one so you can put it all in one bar.
Yeah, all right. Right, time for our two favourite greedy Italians this week. Gennaro and Antonio, and they're continuing their foraging adventure in the Alps, rustling up a spot of lunch. Have a look.
Of a crabapple, and I think people don't use them enough. Do you?
Do you know where you see a lot of crabapple trees?
Tell me.
On the side of motorways.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because when people eat apples and they chuck them out their car window, the seeds fall, they create crabapple trees.
Oh.
Fun fact.
So they're like discarded apples.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, you serve this up. We're going to serve 2 portions here.
And
Ollie?
I want to serve it with a bit of custard, Matt. So if you could put...
right.
We'll do some
custard and ice cream.
Yes. Why not? I always like ice cream and custard or ice cream and cream.
The hot cold thing.
I learnt that from Jeremy Lee, actually.
Right. Oh, hello. Ollie, tell us what we're drinking.
Well, I've got a non-alcoholic, warming Christmas cocktail here. It's called Bandrek, which comes from Indonesia. Squishing out the kind of the essential oils, infusing it, heating it up, letting it cool down.
Take that, Greg.
And then you can add either a bit of condensed milk or a bit of coconut milk, or you can have it black. But it's...
you could add a bit of rum.
Greg said that in rehearsal. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
This is delicious.
This is rum.
What's it called? Mandrake?
No, Mandrake. That's something in Harry Potter. This is Bandrek.
Oh,
Bandrek. Sorry. Yeah, Mandrake's the band you really want to be in. Anyway. Yes.
This is delicious.
Thank you.
And that's so easy to make.
Thank you, Matt.
I'm going to take my copy your book home.
It is amazing.
This is a great non-alcoholic drink.
It really is, yeah, and I think it's one for the whole family, and it's so easy to make. Plus, it's got all of the fragrance of Christmas about it. It really does feel like, you know, a liquid Christmas carol, if you like. It's that.
A liquid Christmas.
Yes, warming and festive and hearty and touching.
How long did you take home?
Who knows?
Weeks. How is the food, boys?
Very good, yeah.
This is
Trying to
really, really good, and I think I'm definitely going to get your book. I want it signed.
Thank you.
Because when I cook at home, you know, we cannot do the dessert we do at the restaurant.
Yeah.
I was looking through the recipe, and I love it because there's always a little twist, you know, the paste with the cream cheese, or there's always like this little thing different, and I like that.
That's why the
Thank
books are good. That's why they sell.
Very
Right.
This is 27 degrees, the thermometer gun. And if you don't have a thermometer gun,
30,
you can use
28,
a probe.
20, 27.
Yeah, but is that... So
What's that? What do you do that for?
I'm just bringing it all together so you don't get hot spots
Right.
either way. So what's the temperature now? Are we ready?
Boom. 27.
Boom. OK, cool. And then...
Gabriella, you can do this by eye, can't you, without the thermometer?
Yeah.
Just because you're just an artist.
30.
OK, and then...
32.
When it's...
taking the guest temperatures.
That's funny.
I'm surprised you're
And when
not wearing an apron.
No, when it's 27 degrees, we're going to put it back into the bowl, just like this.
Do we need this?
I would, yes, if you're not used to working with chocolate, I would. Yeah, literally
Are
just
these like
that.
those,
like you.
those delicious treats the ambassador likes so much?
I guess so, yeah.
Is it like that?
Yeah, a bit
Okay.
like that, yeah. So, I'm going to use gloves for this. You don't have to use gloves, but I'm going to grab one of these, and I'm going to put some chocolate onto my hands, and I'm going to roll it. And if you need a bit more, just
Guys, you've got chocolates in front of you.
Can we eat now?
Let's dive in. Hey, do you want one of those?
We've been looking at it for...
And I'm going to roll it until it becomes like a kind of slightly
That's
wavy
delicious.
texture, and just plop it there. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Really simple, but a huge crowd pleaser.
Do you know what I love? I love a homemade gift. These would be perfect for that sort of
Yeah, Christmas round the corner, these are brilliant for a homemade gift.
homemade gifts. Ollie.
And yeah, after
Stella,
dinner.
my favourite kind of gift.
That's eggs. So there was about 300 potato there. There was about 100 butter, 100 cream, 100 milk. Infused, you crack on. Infused, you're getting the gist of this, yeah. Infused
keep
with
talking,
some thyme
mate,
and
I'm
some
gonna-
garlic and some bay leaf. If you can do that for about sort of 20, 30 minutes, so much the better.
The little crispy sage is just the revelation,
You're
isn't
welcome.
it?
And then the
Oh, look
liver
at that.
was seasoned flour, just to sort of coat it a little bit, and then fried off in foaming butter with some sage. That is it. You're welcome. Yeah, COVID's over.
Well done.
Exactly
how it used to taste.
Is it good?
To sip alongside, we have Morris...
Calves, liver and Pinot.
Is that right? There you go.
You all right there?
It's absolutely
Excellent.
gorgeous.
Good. That's
I
very
feel quite
sweet.
emotional.
Taking you right back to the 80s. You're welcome. That's all from us today on Saturday Kitchen Live. Thanks to Greg, Rav, Ollie, Gabriella, and of course, Ade. All the recipes from the studio on the website, bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. I've got more Best Bites to do tomorrow morning at 9:30 on BBC Two, and I'll be back here live next Saturday for more festive chaos with Gennaro Contaldo, Big Hat, and Rob Brydon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye
Now
for
let's make the Thai curry.